welcome back to the Hooligans pitch. It's episode 52?
52.
52.
Yeah.
Match day 14.
Holy
Michael
moly.
and Chad back at it. Lots of goals, lots of games, lots of drama. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to dissect. We're going to go over it. And we're going to probably have some weird hot takes in there. I don't know.
I made some graphs, Chad, that I can't wait to show you.
Graphs?
Well, just one graph, but it's a good graph. And I labeled it.
Presentation.
We got an X and Y axis with important notes on there. We'll show that off shortly. But I'm just going to do this quickly. Endo is officially in the Liverpool Michael Hall of Fame. I love one-offs. You know, I got my Balotelli kit. Endo's going to get added to that. So I'm doing a quick little sake shot to my Legendo because... Come on.
Beautiful.
Come on.
I mean, yeah. Fitting after his I don't want to call it a cameo necessarily, but came in, did the work, got a great goal.
First league goal. So yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll chat.
Well, I'm sticking with the holiday favorites, the Celebration IPA, Sierra Nevada.
There you go.
You got to get it when it's out, you know.
I'm sticking with what I have too many in my fridge at the moment. Corona. So.
Ooh, okay. A lime?
I don't have any limes.
Oh, well, okay. Still pretty good though.
I know. I'm gonna just imagine.
Ooh, limey.
It's so sour. All right, Chad. Can I just break? Can we go right into Liverpool on this one? Is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's cool.
Fulham trap game, but Fulham hasn't been on their, their A team. They've been kind of faulty as of late, not showing us anything too wild. I wake up 7:45, ready to go. In bed, Kristen's sleeping. I'm like rubbing my eyes, making sure we can see the game. First 20 minutes, Trent scores a banger, and I'm in. Yes, give him one of those, right? I'm just like, ooh, we gotta get the chart. We're getting the chart out. For those of you who can't see this, just follow along at home. Chad, let me know if you can't see. Here's my chart here, okay?
Oh,
okay?
yes, yeah, okay.
This is minute 0. This is my how happy I was from 0 to 100, and then this is our minutes at the bottom. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
I'm doing this all off a mirror, so bear with me.
You're good.
We start, just getting the excitement going, Trent scores right here. Okay.
Nice.
Following
Beautiful.
Me? Yep. In bed, happy. Fulham, they keep going. They score. Not so happy. Okay. And then all of a sudden, Mac Allister with the banger of the year.
Yeah.
Banger of the year. Let's just say it now. He gets me to here, right?
I expected a little higher peak on that, honestly.
I was a little sleepy, Chad.
Oh, okay.
I was still sleepy. And then during this part, Chad,
my
eyes were closed.
I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, I thought we were handling business. And then, I'm sorry, I skipped the Fulham goal. Okay, so we drew.
Yeah,
like we're tied right here. We're tied. So I'm not so happy shortly after. And then it's kind of sleepy time. Halftime, it did me dirty. And then I woke up.
Yeah, it happens.
This is what happened. Right here at this little cross section, Kristen goes, "Hey, Fulham scored." I go, "What?" I go like that. And Chad, I was sinking. Hard. I was giving, if you look in our Discord group, I'm going, I was pretty tame in there, but I'm going, we're losing. We're done. We're so done. And then right here, right there, that's where Endo scores, let's call it again, banger of the century.
Yeah.
Didn't see that one coming. I don't think anyone did.
Not at all.
And then as soon as that happened, I was, we're fucking gonna win this game. And that was like at the 87th minute. Kristen was like, I'm gonna go do errands. I was like, no, you're not. She was like, she was like, they scored when I wasn't in the room. I was like, they scored when you were home. I was like, you're not allowed to leave until we win this game. And then it was literally what? 5? No, it was a minute later. It was 1 minute. The Gakpo with this crazy shot. I thought
shot.
I thought that was gonna be the goal when it hit.
Yeah.
I definitely let out like a schoolgirl scream when that happened. And then the ball just started like going everywhere. And that's when I kind of knew. I was like, oh, it was like, something's going to happen here.
Yeah.
And then maybe a foul in the box, maybe not. We can talk about it. And then Trent finds his way to get his goal in the back of the net. So shout outs to Bernd Leno, because I feel the worst for him, because he was just he was getting cooked, but there's nothing he could do about it.
No, yeah.
Literally nothing.
I mean, and he took a shin to the head to start the game, so you know that's a rough day. But yeah, I feel like your chart's pretty accurate to the game, I guess, right? Like,
yeah,
I wasn't watching it initially because I was watching Chelsea and Brighton, and then that was kind of fizzling out a little bit. So then I flipped over to Liverpool, probably like 10, 15 minutes before Fulham scored their third goal. And it was just like it looked so, like the game itself just looked kind of flat. Like,
yeah, there wasn't much going on. I didn't have, well, again, my eyes were, it was like a fade in and out. It was one of those like curtains opening, curtains closing. So I was checking, I was like, it's still tied, still tied. And then damn, once I found out they scored at the 79th minute, my heart rate spiked and it was go time. But I did not, it felt like such a, I don't know. I'm so used to this squad. Like last year when they'd go down at like the 80th minute, it was like, it looked like desperation was coming out. And this one looked like tactical. It was like, okay, we've been in this situation before this year. We've been down a man, like against Castle, or even against the Spurs, being down and just playing super precise. That's what came out. And man, shout outs to Endo, dude. That guy, I hope he gets more play time now, because I don't think if he was in that game, even though it was short, we win. Now take away his goal, and even at the end, if we get the draw, I don't think we get to that point. So he stood out for me today, and I hope he really gets more play time because of it.
Yeah, I think that third goal that Fulham scored, I think it definitely woke Liverpool back up. Like, I don't know how they kind of got into this little lull in the second half, but they just weren't doing enough and not really creating anything. And then all of a sudden it was like, uh-oh, we might lose this completely. And then they just like, everyone turned it on at the like to the same level, like everyone's on the same page. Yeah, and it wasn't like craziness of everyone trying to like do too much. It was like very concentrated, a flowing attack, right? Like Gakpo takes that shot, but like you see him, I guess maybe looking for options, since Fulham kind of gave him the time, and then he tries a shot. But then even then, Nunez is right there. Could have very easily just let that ball roll out for a corner, but he said, nuh-uh. And, he runs to it and keeps the ball alive, which Fulham probably was caught off guard a little bit by that. And, finds its way to Trent, and bada bing, bada boom.
Well, that shot by Gakpo put Leno out of position for the follow-up. I mean, if you watch it again, when Leno dove to his left, he was on the ground and then had to get back up and start shifting all the way to the other side of the goal. So, like, as a keeper, that's exhausting. Like, it really is, to be going up and down, side to side. And I think at that point, Trent knew he had to just keep going that way to beat him. And, Leno got beat up that game pretty good. So he was probably already feeling it. But without that Gakpo shot and hitting where he hit it, it wouldn't have gone all the way to Trent to have that kind of open side. So it kind of shows everything happened for a reason. Notable things I want to highlight from that game: Nunez once again hit the post off a Mo Salah pass. That is his fifth woodwork on the season from a Mo Salah pass. Next closest in the Premier League has 2. So
look, if you're gonna do something, be the best at it, right? So
it's become a meme at this point, and everyone knows that when Nunez shoots, it's probably gonna hit the frame. And then other notable moment that I had, when McAllister scored his banger, Nunez went up to him and was like, hugging him and stuff. But then I don't know if you go back and watch this. He goes to flick his head, but he's actually trying to flick grass off his head. And McAllister was like, "What? Get off of me," like that. And he was like, "No, like I'm trying to help you." And it was just a funny moment that I don't think a lot of people saw. So go watch his face, because McAllister's like, "Get away from me." It looked like he was picking on him, but it was all wholesome. He's trying to make him look good.
Yeah.
Fan of the Braves? Sorry, I'm going to jump to that really quick.
No.
Yeah, me either.
I don't know. It doesn't feel right. Like, Nunez is a little bit wild anyway, so like free flowing hair or
let it
like
flow, baby.
ponytail sort of thing, like felt a little more on brand, or not this like braided, secured,
Yeah,
controlled
I'm with you.
hairstyle.
I'm with you.
Yeah, but
That's
I
all I
mean,
got.
what a crime to call Trent's free kick an own goal.
And
Absolute
poor
crime.
Leno, man. Another dent against his
And that's just
day.
the more I watch this free kick, I don't understand the own goal call on it. Like, that thing's pretty much in without Leno's intervention.
I guess it's rule of the law, right? There's a
I
chance it
guess,
doesn't go
but
in if he's not there, but at the same time, it's like, are you
but
sure?
it's not like the ones we've seen, bounce off the crossbar and then hit Emi Martinez and bounce back into the goal. Like, this thing was pretty much in the goal and just I guess had the slightest little push further in, but
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't remember where Leno was in terms of the goal line and like outside of it, but he had to have been right on it.
oh yeah, he was right there, and I think even if he wasn't there, I think that ball probably finds its way in. But I mean, it was just such a great free kick. It feels just wrong to not attribute that to Trent. Like, I'm glad he got another goal to at least
Yeah.
show on the stat line that he did that, but could have had a nicer stat line, I guess.
Leno's left foot was on the goal line when he jumped in the air to save that ball. So, yeah, harsh for him, harsh for Trent. Yeah, watching it over and over again, it nicks the post at the ever so slightest.
Come on.
And I still think it. Yeah, you know what? The more I look at it again here, I think it would go in without his
right
with his back. I don't know. Too close. Goal's a goal. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this one. Good comeback, boys. This is what a championship team needs.
Yeah, you're gonna have your little stumbles here and there, but to with Fulham scoring so late, even to get a draw out of that game would have been great. But to like come back and get all 3 points in the way that they did was fun to watch as a neutral, and you see how much it meant to the players and the fans there that were going crazy, and 2 goals in the span of a minute to win the thing.
Wild.
Like, oof.
Wild. Yep. First goal from McAllister. First goal for Endo. In league for Endo. Endo scored one in Europa, but that was great. I love those games. They got my day.
Yeah.
I got my day jumping. It was really close to being a sad day. And in 10 minutes, it totally flipped.
Turned around. Yeah. Nice.
All right, want to talk a little Arsenal?
Yeah, we could jump over there.
Give me a little breakdown, because I caught probably the first 15 minutes, and I said, okay, there's more important storylines going on right now. But yeah, what was how do you feel about that one?
I mean, as strong a start as you would want from Arsenal, scoring early. Wolves have been kind of a bogey team over the past few years for Arsenal, so it was nice to get a goal right away, basically 6 minutes in, and then follow it up with probably team goal of the season so far. With
it was pretty
leading up to Odegaard. Like,
even he was.
Yeah, that was a very nice one, and Odegaard's been popping up in that kind of middle top of the box area a lot this season. He kind of just floats in there, and a lot of his goals that he's scored, more so in Champions League and stuff, have kind of been in that zone where he just kind of floats and defenders don't see him, forget about him, whatever, and he's able to take a shot, and he's got a good kick on him. So
man, he's just passing it to the back of the net.
Yeah. So it was great, and good to see him kind of back into form after being out with concussion, I guess is what the official word was on it, but he was out for a few weeks, so I don't know if that was concussion the whole time or picked something else up. But yeah, I mean, he looked back to his normal self, creating, running up and down the pitch, a lot of the play going through him. It was fun to watch. It's when Odegaard's on it, the team is kind of on it as well. So
yeah, he is the true glue.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, first half, I think Arsenal probably could have put the game to bed with some better shooting and better luck, maybe. Martinelli had a nice shot that just went off the post. Jesus had it kind of surprised him at the back post, and he just didn't get a good kick on it, so he missed it. And then, into the second half, I think Wolves maybe just kind of felt like there was something they could maybe get from the game. Like they came out and played a lot more controlled and a little bit more aggressive in their press. And I think Arsenal just went into a little bit of cruise control. And it just kind of, I feel like it's the theme of this week was just like flat second halves for some teams. So yeah, Arsenal, started making little mistakes here and there. I think Zinchenko had like 3 of these like little weird mistakes that I can remember. One of them perfectly setting up the Wolves goal.
So yeah, how do you feel about him being in the game when it's kind of Arsenal's getting pushed back into their own end, and it's after the 75th minute, even though they have a 2-0 lead, it's like, does he need to be playing right now? Because his whole role is not to defend and keep the score the same. Your goal with him is to try to score goals. I feel like at that point Arsenal was content with having 2 goals on the board and weren't really looking to pursue another.
Yeah.
So in my head, you took Tomiyasu out just prior to that, but I'm like, why not just keep Tomiyasu in? Bring Ben White in. I don't know. Now you got Havertz doing left back things now, so like he can't be the worst option to at least maybe fill that little area instead of Zinchenko.
Well, they have Kivior as well, who can kind of operate in that left back role, which I think is probably the smarter move. Like you said, Zinchenko, while technically playing left back, is a midfielder. He
ain't defending. He don't want to defend.
He's not. He never has been good at defending.
That's what I'm saying. Why even put him in that spot to risk it?
Yeah, I mean, and that's what some Arsenal fans have said of like, if we're trying to figure out this pairing in the midfield between Rice and Havertz or Rice and Trossard or whoever it might be, like Zinchenko is a midfielder. He plays that role for Ukraine, right? Like we play him there basically anyway, but then he just has to fill in at left back when needed. So if we have, I mean, I think the Timber injury early on kind of maybe messed up some of the plan in that, but you do have Tomiyasu, Kivior that can step in there, keep Zinchenko in the midfields. He'll still be able to create. He can still help out on defense a little bit that he needs to, but he's not like, you're not relying on him to be a defender at that point then. Because like these little mistakes are not uncommon for him in a defensive situation. Like I think it was last season against Liverpool, Trent got by him pretty easy. Here he'd had I think it was like 3 of these same little situations where he was just like on the ball and didn't make a decision quick enough, or like made the wrong decision and just like this weird little pass into a dangerous area, and like this one just handed the ball to Wolves at the top of the box.
And they're usually happening, his errors, right in the 18, or definitely in the 18, or like right near it. And if I'm Arteta, I'd be telling him, don't even be near it, because if you're not near it, at least someone else can take up that space. That is maybe a little bit better of a defender. I'm sure if Declan Rice moved back a little further there and Zinchenko wasn't there, I think y'all would breathe a little easier. I don't know. I just found that was my big note, was went up after the 80th minute, get Zinchenko out.
Yeah, and I mean, that might be the way forward. Just if it's a game where you still need a goal, then okay, maybe keep him in, or then maybe like fully move him into the midfield so you can keep some defensive solidity back there. But it was just it became a nervy second half when it didn't have to be.
I flipped the game back on Arsenal when I saw the Wolves score, because I said this could get dicey.
Yeah,
and then they handled it. They started to possess a little better. He brought in Jorginho and QER, and then game over. I just why not make that move 10 minutes ago when you're 2-0 up and don't even have to be in this position.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I don't know if it's. I mean, I'm assuming it's kind of Arteta directed to like at 2 goals slow down a bit, but I feel like this Arsenal team in 2 goals is not exactly a firm lead. It as good as they have been defensively this season, especially like it's not uncommon to see a little bit of a mistake or a little bit of lapse in concentration. Which then if they score, it's now a 1 goal game, and it gets just a little bit hectic. Where if you like either just continue to push and score goals, or at least get to 3 goals before you try and slow down, you have a little bit more of a cushion. Which I mean, really, Arsenal should have like, yeah, the other, Martinelli and Jesus, but Trossard and Nketiah had like the same ball down the middle fed to them by Odegaard, and they both just like totally screwed it. Trossard just waited way too long to shoot, and Nketiah got his shot off but bounced off the post, so maybe just a little bit unlucky on that. But I think that's it makes this game more stressful, certainly, but if you're gonna be this champion side team, like I think you gotta find that ruthlessness sometimes to just like really kill a game and kill a team, and then you can worry about taking your foot off the gas a little bit.
Totally agree with that statement. Unlike Burnley, who said we're gonna floor it the
That's what I'm
entire
saying,
90. Burnley can do it. Anyone can do it.
Well, to be fair, Arsenal did it against Sheffield, so
Yeah, you're right. Sheffield does have a knack for getting the throttle put on them. No Saw's out. First time I've seen the man injured. That could be huge. That could be a huge setback for the Wolves. Because he's really the rock back there that man bails him out every single week. So we'll see what happens, because I'd be pretty nervy if he goes out.
Yeah, it's a big loss. I mean, we've seen him make some crazy saves. I mean, the guy that came in, didn't let in any other goals, so he did well enough. But it's just kind of the same with the Liverpool game. It's you disrupt that back line and goalie connection, and things are just a little bit off. Like whether it's calls for the ball or positioning or just like kind of knowing where people should be. It's just you don't play week in week out with that backup keeper. So it'll be interesting to see if Wolves can kind of cope while Salah's out. Did you see anything with how long he's out, or?
Let's do a quick little check. He actually did some training today, so he might be all right.
Okay.
He said he felt fine this morning. They faced Burnley on the weekend. Arsenal going to Luton, and then Liverpool have Sheffield. So us three are gonna hopefully take out that bottom part of the table. If any of us lose, I'll see you next week. Still.
Yep.
We'll be back, just not very happy.
Exactly.
Dude, there's no way. There's no way. If we lose to Sheffield, if we draw to Sheffield, Chad.
Look, there was talk that they were sacking their manager this morning, so they might get that weird interim new manager bounce.
Don't tell me that. Now, I guess let's get out of the games for a quick second. Are you surprised no manager has been fired this season?
Yes and no. Like, I feel like we're just so used to seeing, the Chelseas, the Southamptons.
We got 12 more teams to list, Chad.
Well, yeah, but like those two just always stand out in my head as like the ones that kind of rotate through. Like when Watford was in Premier League, like they kind of switched a lot. It's. I think it's a worthy tactic at sometimes to just kind of freshen things up. But I think some of these clubs coming up, like I think all three came up maybe a little bit sooner than they would have expected. And now you're probably weighing the pros and cons of like, okay, well, we can cancel this manager's contract and pay him out and then like pay someone new, and does that balance out with possibly staying in the Premier League, or like if we do this and still fall out, like are we just shooting ourselves in the foot? So like I kind of get it of like it's a lot to weigh of, is it worth the risk of financially of that to potentially keep making money in the Premier League, or do you just say, okay, well, yes, we made it up, we took our Premier League money this season, we're clearly not ready, and it's not just a straight managerial issue. We'll fall back down and reassess, but at least we don't have to worry about paying anyone out and like paying a new contract and all that.
I totally agree with you there. I think we could make the argument that the 3 teams that got relegated last year would probably beat the 3 teams who got promoted easily. Right now, I'm looking at championship tables. Leicester's killing it. Leeds is killing it. Southampton killing it. They're 3 out of the top 4 spots. So wouldn't shock me if we just see him come right back up to Premier League next year and say, welcome back. Good to see you again. But yeah, no, I think those teams are so young and so inexperienced, and like Burnley getting their first clean sheet this year, like 14 weeks in, this is the first one. Like and it was against the bottom of the table. So I'm not shocked no manager's been fired. I think there's been a couple on the hot seat. Ten Hag, mostly Ten Hag.
And I think that's maybe where all the eyes are pointing, like not so much the bottom table teams, but those like bigger teams that should be doing better, right?
But let's be real, there's not really that many bigger name teams who should be doing better. Maybe I guess Chelsea's the one, but Chelsea was a stinker last year, so we can't be like expectations that high. I think Man U's the big one because this year they lost. Did you see the stat? They have 10 losses faster than any other team in the last, probably since pre-Fergie. The list only went back the last 10 years. The 2017 year was the Jose Mourinho, Zlatan Ibrahimovic year. Just shout outs to that. You saw my little picture. But it's not a good look for Man U. Oh, segue. They play terrible.
You could have said they didn't play this week, and I probably would have believed you.
What a snooze fest! And this whole Rashford situation, where he's supposed to be the team leader and be the next guy. And how do you know how old he is?
I want to say 26.
Yeah, nailed it, Chad. Nailed it. 26. But I feel like we act like he's still a young budding star, like Saka.
Yeah,
Saka's 22.
Yeah,
it's like I feel like the media kind of puts him in the same, shelf as far as status and England's new attacking winger. But I'm like, this guy's been around a lot longer. He's taken his team not as high as Saka has in more time. So, we saw the stat line this week: 26 touches in 90 minutes, and kind of a dud.
Yeah, and I mean beyond stat lines, like he just didn't look like he was really in the game. Wasn't really running as he should, and
I'm taking Anthony Gordon over him.
Oh, for sure. Anthony Gordon is at least always running, always trying to make things happen, get in dangerous positions where it's like, I don't know, Rashford certainly hasn't so far this season, and I'm wondering if we are going to ever get that period where he like kind of turns it on for a month.
Well, it happened last year around this time. He went on that streak of scoring. Man, he had like 12 goals in 15 games, something wild like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, yeah. But I mean, really, like, I don't know what United was really doing in general, or Ten Hag, I guess. Like, you've let Luke Shaw playing left center back when you got Varane on the bench. Like, I guess you're maybe going for pace back there to keep up with Newcastle, but like, yeah, Varane is a much better central defender certainly than Luke Shaw would be. And honestly, I kind of left this game looking at Maguire and thinking, are you currently United's best player? Like,
I think we can still give flowers to Bruno on being the best player, but I think the best player in that game for them was probably McTominay. He's like,
yeah,
he is the equivalent to Anthony Gordon for his position. I feel like for Man U, always making, always attacking, always running, making the best decisions. Probably not, but again, he shouldn't have to be. Now let's look at his age, because his age, he's 26 too. So this team is like, they're getting to that point now.
Prime, right?
They should be doing some great things rather than having questions asked.
Yeah, I mean, but like, where do you go from here? Like, you got this weird jumble of like, I know we've talked about it before, but the proven stars and good but not great players, I guess. And then some young guys. Like, it's just a weird mix. With no Casemiro,
he's gone.
I feel like
I bet he'll never play for them again.
Yeah, he may be injured, but it seems like this whole season he was just kind of like just there for the paycheck sort of thing, He
came back super out of shape. He played decent to get the year started.
Yeah.
No surprise by his injury. We all knew he came for Ronaldo. What was that?
Yeah.
A year and a half ago at this point. And then since then, it's just been kind of whatever to him. So I won't be shocked if he's gone. I feel like they're going to make some changes in this window. I think just to get younger. The Maguires are going to be out. They want to get Hoyland in there. They want to get Garnacho going. Like, if that's what their identity wants to be, they need to lean hard into that. Right now they're in this like, let's get Amrabat. Like, why?
Yeah, and I think that was maybe one of the more clear things coming up against Newcastle, where it's like Newcastle they have their play style and identity where it's just like fast football, like lots of running, lots of passing, lots of
work rate,
just domination. Where United is just like feels more like 11 individuals that sometimes get together and score a goal or two. And to their credit, they're still seventh, so it works every now and then. But I feel like you're scraping the bottom of the barrel of like how much good fortune you can have in these games now.
When you said this is an interesting stat, Chad. When you said when they score a goal or two, I'm looking at their stat line right now. Take out Everton, they beat 3-0. Okay, I'm looking for games with 2 goals, 2 or more at this point.
Oh boy.
Luton 1-0, Fulham 1-0, lost to Newcastle. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep it Premier League. City 3-0. Sheffield was the 2-1, and Brentford's the 2-1. Every other game besides those, 1 or less.
Yeah, so
they don't even score. This team sucks.
Yeah, certainly not lighting it up.
Damn it! It was like 2 weeks ago. I said they're better than they're again. They might still be the best of the 7 through what are we at now? 12.
Yeah,
but I think that whole group just kind of sucks.
Yeah,
or doesn't have an identity. Like Brighton's weird right now. West Ham's weird right now. Chelsea's too unpredictable. Brentford, they actually might be on the come up.
Yeah.
Crystal, not really, because they just lost to, was it Luton last week?
Yeah.
Wolves,
I mean, yeah, it's a weird middle of the table right now, and I don't know. United 7th, I think, is definitely flattering for how they play and how they look.
I won't be shocked if they move down to 11th or 12th at all. If Brighton gets their shit together, West Ham gets their shit together, and Chelsea can get it. Even Brighton, I could actually see them going to 11th in the next, by the end of December, we'll call it.
So when's your Ten Hag out happening? Like, they technically still have a chance to get through the Champions League group. I don't think they will. So probably out of Champions League.
If they lose
not.
oh, keep going. No, keep going. Keep listening.
No, I'm just just not performing all that great in Premier League. What they're out of EFL Cup, I think.
Yeah, they're out.
So you have league position, and I guess that's kind of all you're riding for the rest of the season. Like, but again, are you seeing enough progress or vision or forward momentum in that way to keep Ten Hag around?
I think they'll give it to the end of December. They got Chelsea this week. I think if Chelsea beats them or they draw, okay. The Bournemouth one could get interesting since Bournemouth has been pretty shaky. Now, they go against Bayern. I think if Harry Kane lights them up, then the English Man U fans are going to be livid. Because they'll build the whole, like, not that we had a good chance to get this guy, but they would definitely be like, we could have at least put in a crazy offer for a guy who's now lighting us up in Champions League when we're in Champions League. And he's English. That's and then Liverpool may thump them on the 17th because we all know what happened.
I mean, time. If we get another like 7-0, that might be the nail in the coffin.
What day is that? The 17th? Is that a weekend? Sunday. Nice.
Ooh, nice. Like, I want Ten Hag to be there for the long haul because it's great for everyone else. But if he goes out after another 7-8 goal destruction, like, I won't be mad at it.
It will be the right time.
Yeah.
It will be the right time. Yeah, other than that, I don't really know what other managers deserve to be let go. I don't think anyone, honestly, at this point. I think everyone's pretty safe.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of performing as expected. Brighton started hot and fell back, so like I guess they're kind of underperforming, but I think
injuries killed them a little bit though. So I'll give De Zerbi a little bit of a pass.
Yeah, and I think even then, like the play that De Zerbi has brought to Brighton, I think it has shown enough to be like, one is it's exciting, two it's still bringing in these relatively unknown players and they're scoring great goals, playing well. So, back in Europe, so they got some kinks to work out this year. But, West Ham, but could be. I mean, they're in a weird spot, but like last season they were terrible, so they're doing much better.
And they got rid of their best player.
Yeah.
But kudos. Let's talk a little West Ham. Kudos. He's the real thing, Chad.
Yeah,
he's the real thing. Starting, scoring. I think he's exactly what they need in terms of getting maybe the style of play going through him. I mean, he's so fast and so quick on the ball. He's playing kind of that right wing, right mid kind of role too, which might be good to help alleviate all that midfield compression that they're trying to figure out who goes where. I don't know. I like him for West Ham. I think West Ham has to figure out their defense. I think Zuma obviously hurts, but the build-up play from Kufal, I think they need to figure out how to do that more because when we were watching them in the beginning of the season, he was making crazy runs down the line and slicing everything into Bowen and Antonio. So more of that I think is needed. Less of James Ward-Prowse in the back line. Yeah.
I think they just got to kind of figure out the balance, and then I think they'll kind of get back to their winning ways that they kind of started with.
Like they should have smoked Palace. It's not that good. They should have beat them
for sure.
So that was kind of disappointing. The Chelsea Brighton game though, that one, that's what I'm saying. It's like they should have done better. And the Gallagher red card, holy crap, man! Chelsea's going to get a red card every week.
Captain's curse. Reese was captain, he got the red. Gallagher captain this time, he got the red. Who's next? If it's Thiago Silva, I'm going to cry because my fantasy team is already in the dumps.
Him or Enzo? I think it's going to be him or Enzo.
Yeah.
Sterling maybe. Sterling, I think, has worn it before.
Could be Sterling. Yeah.
I didn't catch most of this game. Did you?
Yeah, I woke up for the second half. So
how'd Matoma look?
He came on pretty late.
Yeah, 57.
57, yeah. I mean, he looked, kind of his normal self, dribbling at people, trying to create dangerous situations.
Okay.
Broke through and I guess was kind of looking for the penalty, or maybe just kind of fell that way. But he was causing issues certainly. And Brighton, was really putting on the pressure, but then left him a little bit exposed at the back, and old man James Milner just could not keep up with Mudryk.
How dare they put him in that situation?
Yeah, what the hell?
It's messed up. Ashley Cole, and Thiago, man, the 37 and up club, they're just getting roasted, and I would be like, "What are you doing to me?"
Yeah, it's if you're bringing James Milner on to if you're bringing him on just to kind of help control a midfield situation or something, he can probably do it fine still. But if you're going to put him on the back line where it's like him and one other defender to try and stop any counterattack, he can get beat these days. He's not as quick as he used to be. He's not young as he used to be anymore, obviously. He tried, though.
The thing we know Mudryk as is probably one of the fastest players in the league. And here we go, putting James Milner on him. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. It was kind of interesting watching that phase play out, though. Because, Milner's, trying to stay with him. So, kind of not grabbing his arm, but kind of on his shoulder sort of thing. And then their legs kind of come together, which causes the penalty. And, it goes to VAR and they check it and all that. And the commentator's like, nah, I don't think this is a penalty. He was planting his foot and wasn't kicking out at Mudryk or anything. So I think it's just a coming together. And I was like, it may just be a coming together, but if Milner's not doing that, Mudryk can surely get a shot off. Whether he scores or not is a different question. But I saw it and I was like, oh, penalty. And then I don't even know who the commentator was, but he was dead set. He's like, this is not a penalty. Ref is at that monitor. He needs to stay strong with his initial thought that it wasn't a penalty. And,
was he dropping the whole a foul sometimes isn't a foul line? Because I'm hearing that way too much right now.
Not so much like that, but he basically was Milner may not have obviously tried to take out Mudryk or kick his leg or anything, but he steps basically in his path, right? So you're committing the foul. You're committing the foul. You're already running, trying to catch up and stay with Mudryk, so you're behind him, so you can't even say that he ran into you or anything. I don't know. I maybe the guy was a Brighton fan, or he just, had empathy for James Milner here. But it was just kind of strange to hear him be so staunchly not a penalty. Ref needs to stay strong, and it was this is the one you choose. I feel like you could have said that about some other decisions this season.
Let's talk about some refs staying strong, Chad. Let's get on to City and Tottenham, shall we?
Mm-hmm. Sure, yeah.
Fun game.
Yeah.
Fun game to watch. Didn't know who I wanted to win at certain points of this match, and honestly, at one point I was like, that's okay, we'll get the draw. And I was like, no, we need to come back and win. And then I kept flip flopping. But I think what we all need to talk about is the rash decision of Simon Hooper to blow that whistle. Chad, let's paint a picture, okay? Mm-hmm. Paint the picture. The ref, he holds up his arms like this, saying "play on," and they play on, and he goes, "No, just kidding."
Just kidding.
And that's literally how fast it went. That's I did it out in my head of how fast he went from go to not go, and I was and I was trying to think about okay, why, what would have made him blow that whistle? If the pass wasn't completed, it's okay, well, if the pass wasn't completed, we never even saw a player get to the pass, and the whole thing, the whole, I don't want to say rule, but the whole suggestion this year is don't call something too early, right? Keep the flag down. We'll check it later. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, I like we've seen some bad calls this season, and
Is this the top?
this
Is this the top? It's my top.
it's probably the top. I mean, you could maybe find like a VAR call that could challenge it, but like this one
This
was
isn't
just
even
like
VAR. This is straight human.
that's the thing. Yeah, like this is straight up
It's common sense.
like Grealish was clearly getting to that ball.
I think they would have scored off of it.
It, if
You
you're
never
gonna,
know, but
you never know. But I mean, Grealish is certainly a guy that can do it. So that's a rough call, and the pictures that have come out of it have been hilarious. But yeah, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just so bad. It's how can you be a professional ref at like one of the top leagues in the world, and you blow such a big call in a big game, in a really big moment of that game.
the biggest moment of that game for sure.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
in the time when both teams were going at it hard. They both of those teams wanted to win, and I gotta get it up for Ainge here. We talked about how he doesn't change his game plan, and against a City team to not change your game plan, I think takes a lot of cojones. And the fact that they were pinging the ball around their back line with the City attack that was just sprinting all over them and being successful at it, that was like, I give him props for that one, because like that, not a lot of teams are doing that right now against City, and they were doing it fairly well for the most part.
My only holdup on that, because I've seen a lot of people, a lot of pundits saying, "Oh, he should feel vindicated now because he's stuck with his game plan, and look at the result they got." And fair, that's Tottenham did get a good result here, but this game was very nearly blown out of the water in the first half when City was pressing really, really well. Tottenham was not getting through it.
Mm-hmm.
Holland missed basically two sitters.
Yeah.
Who else had Doku hits the crossbar, Alvarez hits the post. Like, this worked out for Tottenham, but it nearly didn't. So
True.
You can call it brave, you can call it courageous play, all that, but I think for me, like, I'm looking at it, obviously I'll say neutral, but
I wish both these teams would have lost, Chad. We can both say it.
Yeah, I mean, the draw is a great result for Arsenal. Gives some distance between City and then Tottenham one extra point there, and it doesn't matter. But I think, like, I guess maybe I need the conversation to switch a little bit more of like, okay, yeah, Ainge sticks to his tactics and doesn't falter from that, and like that's brave. Like, I don't think so. I think that's kind of stupid. Like, you should. I'm not saying you got to fully adjust tactics, but you should have some range of adjustment in there, right?
The game is too close. I think the game is too close, though. This team loves to counter and score, right? That's the whole MO for this season, is counter, score.
Yeah, but first half you're not getting through City's press. First half, City has you pinned back. You're doing nothing. You don't even try the long ball over the top to Son or Kulusevski up top. Like, you have the pace up there. You saw Son score like 5 minutes in on basically a counter, right?
Right.
So while that's maybe not your main plan, it should be something where it's like, okay, well, City's really pinning us back. Let's try just a few long balls up top. You can adjust mid-game, you can adjust at halftime, whatever. I don't think you got to fully adjust to be like, oh, well, we're playing City, so let's just pack the box and we'll sit back and do what other teams do. So personally, I don't think sticking to one tactic and that's it is the way forward for any team.
Well,
I think
what if they only have one tactic? Like, this is their idea.
That's bad coaching.
Don't look at the record. I'm not saying they are anything special.
Yeah.
I'm saying he didn't change his plan because it was City, right? Could have been anyone.
Yeah.
It could have been anyone on the table. He's going to do the exact same thing. Is it readable? Absolutely. Can you plan for it every week? Hell yeah. They probably should have lost this game. You could also say that too. But they didn't.
Yeah. No, and I get all that. Like it worked out. But my thing is like, if you want to, like a new manager comes into any club, they want to kind of change or alter the culture or mindset to like fit their play style, right? You can do that, but like you don't have to do that with just one tactic. This is how we do it. Like you can still, the fight, the desire, the like uber concentration and always going for it. You can instill all that through different levels of coaching and your tactics, right? But I don't know. I think you have to leave some room for adjustment in there.
I agree with you. I don't think they can. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think they have another gear to shift into. I don't think they have another option for how they want to do their play. I think this is it. This is what they're going to roll every game for the rest of the year. This is what teams need to prepare for. Are they good at it? Yeah, I can say they're good at it. Mm-hmm. Should you plan on them doing something else? I don't think so. And that's what City, I think City, yes, missed a huge opportunity to get a win here. I think it was, a win was showing, especially in the last 5 minutes. I think they easily could have won this game. All I'm saying is, they said this is what we do, and they did it, and they drew against the champions, and not many teams have done that in the last, couple of years, drawing the champion.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Tottenham's in a rut, and they'll continue to be spiraling because I think teams are just going to catch on to this thing they're doing because it's the same thing week in, week out. It's more so, do teams mess up? I think it's what it's going to come down to is will teams be able to keep up with their pace and the way they play? But as of right now, you could say yes, teams are able to figure that out and put up score lines that will be hurtful to Tottenham in the table, as they've lost 3 out of the last 4 now.
Yeah, and I mean, it as much as like Tottenham performed well and got the draw, like second half again, like another team that came out just flat. Like City just was not pressing as much as they were in the first half. Still just kind of sloppy and wasteful in front of goal. Tottenham will take the point certainly, and the momentum that they might get from this, but like, I don't want to say you got away with one, but like it very nearly could have been City rolling you over.
I don't even know if they got momentum off of it.
I think you probably get a little bit just of like, it because it is champions, away.
With a very if that call didn't happen at the end of the game, I think maybe it's a little bit higher. But even Ainge came up and he said, like, I don't know his exact quote, but he definitely commented on it and saying, part of the game or whatever he said, and I just can't believe that call. That was the worst call I've ever seen in my life. I think that was the worst call I've ever seen in my life. Because he made the right call by playing advantage.
He made the right call.
Holland was fouled.
I'm wondering, like, I don't know how much communication, center ref and his line refs have through those kind of plays, but you would think like the one on the opposite end to, flag offsides would maybe mention of like, oh, like looks like he might get there or something, or like let it play or something to kind of help him. Cause he's, he's back, I don't know, 30 yards or something. Like he's not right there. He maybe has a blocked view a little bit of if Grealish can get there, and maybe the line ref would normally do that, but like, and maybe did, but he just switched his mind so quickly that didn't allow time for anyone to mention like, oh yeah, let it play.
I just watched a slow-mo chat of him blowing the whistle when Holland passes the ball, and it's a zoom in on him, and the timing just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. This will be our first lineup, the video as we talk about it with us, but this is just, it's so gross looking. I can't believe it. This was called in my Sunday league. I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
And so we got this Holland flipping out was kind of awesome. That was kind of cool to see, to be honest.
Yeah.
Never seen a man with his stature and like the way, I don't know, like I feel like a lot of athletes who are that big don't look the way Holland looks in terms of just being like a Thor looking thing, and pretty scary. He came out.
Oh yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he was as angry as I've ever seen him. You know, like, and rightfully so. But part of me wishes Grealish would have just got onto the ball and like still went down and tried to score. Now Vicario may hear the whistle and not, try and save it or anything. And like, even if he scores, I don't think VAR could do anything, but like it would have maybe just been that little extra something in there to be like, yo, you fucked up.
Could you imagine?
Yeesh.
What a game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was entertaining. It was I don't know, Tottenham got that weird juju against City. Like,
yep.
I don't know what it is, but they just they got City's number somehow, and Pep's number, I guess, or Pep overthinks it or something, or doesn't give them enough respect. I don't know.
Pep was so extra this game, dude. He was like lying on the ground. I was like, what's he doing? Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got to say on that one. That's it, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Couple more here. We got Bournemouth and Aston Villa. That game, surprised by the scoreline, but also we literally just talked about how Aston Villa can play super good for a stretch of games and then have a dud. And this was their dud. So maybe not a bad dud if it's just a draw. Nice little header by Ollie Watkins at the end of that game to save the point.
Really nice.
But that's about it for that one. I think they need to regroup and figure it out before they go on to, City. City's next on Wednesday.
Yeah. That was the other thing. City will be without Rodri and Grealish for the Villa game. So two potential. Rodri for sure is a big loss. I don't think they won a game when he was out earlier. Grealish, we've seen less of since Doku's kind of come in, but he's not a weapon you could bring in off the bench right now. So I think that'll be a spicy game. Emery, he loves to go for goals. He defensively is not always the big defensive wall kind of manager, but if you want a team to run out there and try and score goals, like Emery's teams will do it. So
I'm excited for that one.
Should be good. Yeah.
Just checking my list here. Which ones did we miss? Everton Forest, pretty awful game. I watched the whole thing. I turned off Arsenal for that one just because I wanted to see how Everton would look, and not great. But Forest also looked pretty terrible too. So I think those are just two bad teams kind of fighting. Even though Forest is sitting 15th, Forest had the last three ever since they took out Matt Turner. By the way, they've looked pretty bad. So
my only really takeaway was like this was kind of the like scrappy Everton fight that I wanted to see against United.
Yep, I can attest with that. I thought that's their identity, right?
Yeah,
scrap it till the end until we can get a 1-0 or a point. A point for them is a win. So who's Everton have next? Castle. So maybe they'll bring the scrappiness out for that one. That should be an interesting one. Like that's like pace and work ethic versus scratch and claw.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Brentford and Luton. I watched a chunk of that game too. I thought Brentford was looking nice. I think Ben Mee in that back line has made a huge improvement for just where everyone needs to be. Of course, he scores a goal. Commentator said it's all about me today, and I think that's a pretty accurate statement. I think Mbeumo has been not playing to his best. I think he's in that like I'm trying to do too much right now. I think he's not. I think teams are scouting him too. I think they're doing a great job of figuring out what he's going to do, and that's probably why we're seeing a little bit of decrease in productivity. But I think Brentford can do some magic here.
Yeah, they're kind of doing what I said they need to do. Like Ivan Toney comes back in January unless he goes somewhere, which I don't think he will. But they're just kind of surviving, kind of floating, maybe not winning all the games they should win, but not dropping too far back. Like, you're sitting in 11th right now, 3 points over 12th, so pretty comfy, level with Chelsea. So
Yeah.
I think Tony comes back. Obviously, he takes a lot of heat off of Mbumo, so that should free him up to kind of be his winger self again and score some nice goals for him.
All right, Chad. I think we busted out all our games here. Let's just look for this week. Tomorrow, Wolves and Burnley, Luton and Arsenal. I will be able to watch both of those, so I'll be checking them out. Wednesday will be the big day. I think the big notable game will be United versus Chelsea and Villa versus City at the same time. So we'll have to double box those. And then Thursday, Everton Castle, and then Tottenham West Ham. I love midweek games. Love them.
Yeah.
And then the weekend we just have a full stack, another early morning game for Liverpool.
Yeah, damn.
And we're gonna be busy up until. Man, there's a lot of games. All the way up until January.
Till the New Year, basically, right?
Basically January 3rd. I feel like that's the first kind of break. We'll go January 3rd to the 14th.
Wow.
So we got a lot brewing. But let's do goal, player, team. I think a couple of these categories might be straightforward. Care to do goal first?
Goal first.
I got a long list.
I got quite a handful as well.
Can I just put Liverpool?
You could, honestly.
I don't know how to choose.
I mean, look, the two I grabbed from that game were Trent's free kick, which technically an own goal, but I'm going to give it to Trent.
Count it.
And then McAllister. The other goals are great, but I feel like those two were the ones who were like, I saw those and I was like,
Telling me.
got me excited. So, those two are great. Endo's goal is really cool, but I think considering McAllister's goal, his is a little further out.
Dude, it just
got a little bit more bend on it.
It's unlucky, dude. It's just unlucky all these bangers were scored this game.
Yeah. And I mean, even Trent's winner is a great goal, and contextually like really important. But I would take his free kick over that goal.
Did you see McNeil's goal from Everton?
Yeah, his is pretty nice.
I like that one. That has some wicked power behind it, so that was a good one. And then Buenanote from Brighton. I like that one too. Yeah,
nice curler there. I had Odegaard down too, but that was more like team goal rather than goal itself. But just to mention it, yeah. That's kind of it. I had Leon Bailey too.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, nice cut in, but I think that was more down to Bournemouth just like not really stepping to him and letting him cut in and get a nice shot off.
He looks good, Bailey. It's about time. He's been there for a little bit, but it's nice to see him kind of shine. I'm leaning towards McAllister because I
feel like we have to. Like, I love a really good free kick.
Yep.
But something about those just like blasted from 30 yards out, finds the top corner, power on it, no one's expecting it, and those are the ones you show the highlights of people that don't even watch the sport, and they can appreciate it.
He didn't even celebrate that hard either. I was like,
I know,
dude, just like goal of the year, and this is what you're doing. He's like, woo. He's like,
for real.
I did it. That's how he thinks. Like, yes, I did good. Cool. Let's do McAllister. Team. I'm gonna let you lead.
Team was interesting. I got Liverpool on there for the comeback, right? Because it was a great comeback. The only thing against it, I'd say, is like you shouldn't have really been in that situation. Yeah. But if you're going to come back, that's the way to do it.
True.
Score some bangers. Tottenham on there, getting a draw away at the champions, like it's a big deal.
We all thank you, by the way. It is the truth.
Yeah, the rest of the league definitely thanks you. But I think I got to go Burnley on this one.
With you.
You put 5 past, your relegation neighbor here. You look good doing it. Granted, they had a red card in there to give Burnley a little bit more advantage, but like, I don't know. Burnley's maybe one to keep an eye on. They've already played City, Villa, Tottenham, United, Newcastle, and Arsenal. Like, it should be kind of smooth sailing now. They've definitely lost some games in there that not those teams, but lost games that like maybe want them to win now. But I think they've grown into the league a little bit, and to put 5 past a potential relegation candidate with you is like, that's big. That could be a big goal difference and big points to save you potentially.
It shows you're much better than them, and you probably shouldn't be right next to them in the table, but you are at this point. And I know Sheffield still has even tougher opponents to go, especially in these next couple weeks. So yeah, I'm with you there. He took the words right out of my mouth.
I will say Sheffield is on pace to concede 105 goals this season, which would be a record.
My goodness. 105. Yeah, they're at 40, almost at 40.
So if there's going to be a manager sacking, I don't think it's fair to necessarily do Heckenbottom, who reports came out today that he is getting sacked, but like, that's a pretty bad stat to have to your name, so I get it.
Ain't great. It ain't great. Yeah, I'm with you on Burnley. For player, I don't think I've ever done this before. And maybe we have, but I don't recall it. I'm nominating Anthony Jedi Robinson because of his crazy work rate, his crazy stat line, 13 interceptions. He was a menace, and ever since the international break, he's just had this new bounce to him, and I don't think there is a reason why he necessarily shouldn't get it. He was the top point getter in our fantasy league for good reason.
Yep.
I think if he's not there, Liverpool have a kind of a field day on that wing with Salah going at him, but he kept him in his bank. And I know there was still 4 goals scored against him, but you can't blame Robinson for really any of those. And to get an assist too, I thought that was excellent of him. So it's between him and then Trent, just because Trent's free kick and then the game winner. We'll call it 2 goals right now. I think that's where I stand with my players. And honestly, you could split it because I think they both. It's right back week for me.
Yeah. They both made my list. I had Trippier on there as well. He had a good game, but United just looked terrible, so
true.
Not as exciting. Amdouni from Burnley, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 shots on target, cooking out there. Odegaard I already mentioned, like he's just kind of back to being in form. I got to shout out Son though, 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 own goal, and a shot on target. That's a full list of attacking intent.
Is that what you call it?
Maybe. But yeah, I think Robinson, especially coming off the comments and the song that came out, and
ever since that song, he's been on it.
He took some heat, and since then he's looked great. Like, I don't think he's necessarily the best defender, but he can do a decent job. And for Fulham, I think they really benefit from his attacking play more than his defending anyway.
Yeah, sure. He's been whipping balls in real nice.
Yeah. I mean, I'd honestly be fine doing him and Trent. Like,
split it, boys.
They both put up a good game. Even if you take away Trent's free kick, he got the winning goal, and in nice fashion too. So I guess right backs are doing it right this week.
They were the top rated players in that game as well, 8.6 and 8.1. So
makes sense. Yeah,
fair play to them. Chad, I think we nailed it.
Yeah, you want to talk sin bins real quick?
Oh yeah, hit me.
Okay, so sin bins might be coming to the game.
Oh boy.
So currently, they're in amateur leagues in England and have been since 2019. Um, I didn't really understand what they were going to use them for, but it sounds like in the way they've been using it currently, it's more a tool for the ref to calm players down more than like an additional punishment, I guess. So basically, you can, as it is right now, the offenses you can get sin binned for are questioning the ref's ability, slamming the ball to the ground, and like sarcastically clapping at the ref. So that feels a little bit strange.
And how long are they in the sin bin for?
The current idea is that Premier League would do it for 10 minutes.
And
Which
do they get to replace a player at this time or no?
no,
They're down a man.
Down a man for 10 minutes, which
it's too long. That's my first
yeah
opinion about it.
Like I understand what you're going for, but then I gotta wonder, like, is it worth it, or is it like, okay, that team has lost a player, then they just for 10 minutes kind of stop playing, like just keep clearing the ball, hold on to the ball if you're like a Man City and you have that ability to just pass it around teams. Like, I think you just maybe kind of kill the game for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that necessarily works out. But like, if you're using it only for like these situations of dissent against the refs, like this could have saved Dunk from his red card last week, right? Because he got sent off for disagreeing with the ref.
But what if he doesn't leave right then? Like, go to the sin bin. He's like, no, you go to the sin bin. He's like, well, now you're gonna get a red. Like, there's so much you can do to fight back.
Yeah. So for me, it was like, you gotta, if you're gonna bring this in, you also have to bring in the mic'd up refs, that so you have that transparency of like, oh well, I sent him there because he said this to me, and then maybe we don't get to hear it, but someone gets to hear it and say, okay, yeah, he did say that. That's a fair sin binning. Because otherwise it's kind of up to the ref interpretation, right? If he calls something and you say, oh good job, ref, like, does he take that sarcastically and then he wants you off the pitch, or does he just like shrug it off, and then it brings into question the whole foul consistency again, which and this one I think would be even more too widespread of like how you could interpret situations. So
see, I don't know. I like the Sunday League rule. I don't remember the exact name of the card, but for the pod's sake, I'm gonna call it a CDC, a calm down card. You get carded because yellows, they don't really like. Sunday League, a yellow, you tell me to caution.
Yeah.
Basically, the card comes out to have you cool off, you get subbed out, and then there's no timeline on when you can come back in. You just once you're calmed down and like kind of settled down, your teammates settle you down, you can come back in, basically at your own time. Now I'm sure like you can't say I'm good now like a second after you get off the pitch. The ref's gonna be like no. So like, of course there's a big gray area for that and how you decide when someone can come back on. I get it, but having the set timer for 10 minutes, that feels too long to me. I get it, but also this just isn't the sport to do it for. Hockey, it makes sense because the timeline is different. It's a 60-minute game versus a 90-minute game, and when you're in a penalty box, it's 2 minutes, or for fighting, it's 5. 10 just feels like an eternity to be up a man, and who's to say? And who's to say you just get one sin bin in this fiasco that might happen? What if everyone's talking to the ref? He's like, sin bin. It's just
like, I mean, City surrounds Simon Hooper after that call. That's 5, 6, 7 guys. Sin bins. All right. Now you got 3 out there. Like
it'd be a sight to see. It'd be super fun to see. But I don't think it's made for Premier League.
Yeah. If it makes it to Premier League, I think it'll be altered pretty heavily.
Do it in cups. I'm cool with that. If you want to do it, like if you want to bring it in, try it in the cups.
Yeah. So I don't know I don't know what they'll do really. From what I saw, the first league to potentially try it will be MLS next season.
Oh boy.
So that could be interesting. But I'd agree 10 minutes feels too long.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I get like you want to give refs more tools, but I don't think
that's not the solution.
This is the tool.
I don't think this is going to help players calm down because they're still going to be mad in the moment, and they're going to make them go sit in timeout.
Yeah. I think your tool is just, if not putting a camera on the ref, at least putting the mic on the ref.
Yep.
And so having that audio recorded, and if you want to dish out fines after the game of you said some unmentionable things to the ref, cool, so be it. But I mean, to get kicked out of the game for 10 minutes for telling Simon Hooper he's a wanker for wrongly blowing the whistle, like
which he is, but
yeah, exactly.
But like you shouldn't get in timeout.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. I know Sean Dyche and Ainge already came out and said they don't want it. Doesn't make sense. So, I don't think it'll make its way. And if it does, I don't think it'll look anything like this. So
it feels too untraditional.
Yeah, just kind of weird.
A little bit.
Yeah. There you go. No sin bins for us.
Yeah, not yet. They got to do something else with it. We'll see.
Just do it like Call of Duty, where it's like the gulag. So it's like you're in. You guys fight on the sidelines while we keep playing the game.
I can only imagine. You know how broken this would be though if they do introduce this and it gets brought into FIFA.
God.
Is this what
that
you
game
want?
already?
Is this what you want?
That game already can't keep up, and now you're gonna have these like, oh, your guy said something to the ref, and like, I didn't even speak to him.
It's like, how you just did? Tracks your voice. This game sucks. Cinnamon.
You're out.
Oh man.
Yeesh.
All right, Chad. I think we nailed it.
Nailed it.
And for the first time ever, we get to say we are top of the league. So I'm gonna take that as second place right now. That we are top of the league.
It's fair. We are top of the league.
Fucking Kristen's singing it too much right now. She's like, hey, guess what? We're top of the league. I'm like, nah, can't do this. Can't.
Yeah, anything to not have City up there. So
I'll trade it with you back and forth all season long before City came.
Sounds great. Yeah.
All right, Chad. I'll check you tomorrow.
Sounds great.
Game on.
Matches.
Yep. With that, Hooligan Spitz. Well.